People enjoy the game of soccer. Some people play as a hobby, and some revolve their lives around it and play as their job. There's a passion all over the planet for soccer, as it is the most popular sport in the world. Although many positives come out of soccer, there are also negative aspects. The most negative being how the universal symbol of soccer is made, the soccer ball. Almost all the soccer balls in the world are made in either Pakistan, India, China, or Thailand. Because companies such as Adidas and Nike mass produce soccer balls, they need the most efficient soccer balls made at the lowest price possible. One way major soccer companies do this is through the use of child labor and pay them at the lowest amount per unit. An example of this would be Samvari of India. Samvari is a 10-year-old girl that lives in India with her mother. She doesn't go to school because she can't afford it, so she spends her days sewing soccer balls for different companies that import to Australia. For each ball she makes, she earns 4.5 rupees, or less than 8 cents American. With these kind of earnings, Samvari barely makes enough money to buy food for herself or her mother. Workers like Samvari are getting underpaid for the backbreaking, laborious job that they have to do every day. Ruby is another worker that has problems from the harsh working conditions. She talks about her sore eyes, the cut fingers, her scarred hands, and her aching back. She said the work is miserable and the conditions are brutal. If we sit for a long time, then we have eye problems. We get allergies from the wax and headaches. We have to focus a lot too. It hurts our state of mind. The money isn't even worth all the pain as Ruby has to undergo to stitch one soccer ball. She's only paid 7 rupees. That's about 12 cents American. However, the families of Samvari, Ruby, and thousands of other families need this money to try and pay off their debt from other activities and try and buy food for themselves. Nonetheless, for the strenuous work that is done to make soccer balls, they should be paid much more. The major sporting good companies are responsible for human rights violations in the production of our soccer balls and other manufactured goods. It is imperative for the soccer ball industry to reconfirm its promise to abolish child labor from its production. This time, the commitment from the soccer ball industry must be more than just a piece of paper and must include full clearance of their supply chains, fair pricing for their suppliers, and an independent control throughout their entire supply chain in all forms of manufacture.
With that note from Matthew, Canada, along with many other countries, should put a ban on balls that come from countries in which working conditions are poor, like scenarios with Samari and Ruby. As another option, Canada should import from companies that do not support child labor, such as New Balance, or manufacture their own balls as demand for soccer is rising. Another option is to put an end of child labor in the stitching of sport balls, is to have a governmental inspection on the factories that distributors are using. Countries that child labor exists in have many children making minimal money and terrible working conditions. With knowing some countries that have children stitching balls such as Pakistan, China, India, and Thailand, countries that use these products should add a ban on sporting balls coming from those countries. This will require new companies to step forward and create domestically or imported balls that don't use child labor. Not only will that give big brands such as Nike, Adidas, Puma to look for countries with better laws, it will create exposure to the industry so new businesses can be created in Canada. Moreover, as they look for bans with child labor, they should also support countries that produce quality balls without the use of child labor. An example would be New Balance. New Balance made a name for itself in soccer in 2016 when they started to sponsor the world's best soccer clubs such as Liverpool, FC, Porto, and Sevilla, and world-renowned players. Through large clubs being sponsored and well as world-class players being sponsored, that gave an incentive for consumers to purchase New Balance soccer merchandise. As New Balance grew in popularity, it started to manufacture more merchandise such as soccer balls. After the balls were being tested, they were rated grade A for its quality and manufacturing is produced without the use of child labor. New Balance's balls are made by adults that get paid fair wages. Being compared to the other soccer ball companies such as Nike, Adidas, New Balance produces balls are more slightly expensive due to the wage of the manufacturer. Adults in the factories are being paid on average $100 per day to make up for the money lost through the wage expense. New Balance charges more for their soccer ball products. This may refrain from some consumers not buying their products due to the price, but most consumers in the sport ball market will refrain from supporting child labor and refrain from Nike and Adidas and New Balance products. To guarantee that producers are in mandate with child labor laws, companies that want business in Canada and that are outsourcing their products must have inspections by government officials. This will guarantee that all sporting balls that are being imported will not be made with the use of child labor occurring in the manufacturing facility. Once officials have approved the facility, companies will have a pass to show their proper ethics. Every few years, this pass will have to be renewed. This strategy to tackle child labor will also gain tax revenue as companies will have to pay for their pass. If producers pass the test, then they're free to manufacture soccer balls. However, if they don't pass the test, then they will not be able to make sporting balls.
These are 3 ways that the Canadian government can prevent importing child labor-made products, such as soccer balls, and how governments internationally can change this detrimental issue that ruins thousands of lives every day. In one place in the world, kids are playing with soccer balls, where in other areas, children are earning less than $1 a day making the same soccer balls. Obviously, there is something wrong with that. All children should have the same opportunity to have a future and have the best life possible. However, all the people with power care about is the race to the bottom and use child labor to make their product as cheap as possible. The main theme was always to become the best person that you can be and try to make a positive difference in the world as damaged. Nevertheless, when people get to that level of power, they'll do anything to make a profit, to make themselves happy, even if it means to ruin people's lives. We need to reevaluate what's really important in life. I'll leave you with this question. What's more important? Money with no happiness or happiness with no money?